Hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials Basics. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through class. Let's go ahead and come on up to our feet to start. All right, we're going to begin with our spinal cord breathing. Toes pointing straight ahead. Walk your feet so that they're just underneath the hips. And you're going to bring your arms up and around. Bring your forearms together in front of the body. Bring the palms together as well. And then tuck your arms down towards your chest. Round your hips under. Bow your head down. On the inhale, we're going to lift and open. So breathe in. Lift your chest. Divide the arms. Look up towards the ceiling. Try to squeeze the glutes to protect that low back. And then on the exhale, bring it back to the start. Bring the hands together, tuck the head down, pull the hips underneath your body, and that's our rhythm. We're gonna spend about another 45 seconds here, trying to really oxygenate the body, fill the lungs with air, and then on the exhale, try to expel as much air out of the lungs as you feel comfortable to do so. Not so much that you get dizzy or anything like that. Good. Very nice. As you exhale, try to exhale any anxiety, any stress, just send it out of the body. Let all that go for at least the next hour. Last one. When you finish that last exhale, going to bring the arms down, walk the feet around a little bit, and we're going to take it there into some shoulder rolls. So you're going to bring the shoulders up towards your ears and then back and down. So up and back. We tend to live with our shoulders up towards our ears, so we want to invite them to head back down. So invite those shoulder blades to sit back and down the rib cage. Very good. From there, reset the feet a little bit and just nice and gentle start to rotate the body side to side. Start by keeping the arms floating out away from the body. There we go. Try to turn your head a little bit as well. And then start to allow the arms to bend at the elbows and they'll gently slap against the torso. See if you can time it with your exhale so that as you're exhaling, the arms and the hands just gently tap against the rib cage. Good. All this to increase some heat in the body, specifically trying to warm up the spinal column. And 2, 1, and release. Very good. From here, balance as needed. Lift up out of one hip. We're going to come onto one leg and we're going to roll the ankle around. So lift those toes up and down. If you can, reach both arms out to the side and balance. Just make sure those hips don't drop down and in. After about 5 rotations one way, switch it up. Turn the ankle the opposite direction. Very good. Place that foot down. Same thing other side. So I really emphasize pulling everything up towards the ceiling and then rotating that ankle around. Good. To help that balance as well, think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and focus on keeping those shoulders down out of the ears as you do so. Switch the directions of the ankle if you haven't already, and bring that leg down when you're ready. Very good. From here, let's take it in just a little side step arm swing. Careful not to slap your arms against your chair or anything that's nearby. Good. And as I swing the arms back, I'm rotating the palms forward to kind of set those shoulders back and down. Invite that chest position to open. Fantastic. From here, we're going to open up our hip flexors. You're going to step your right foot forward, step your left foot back. Take your left hand over to the right shoulder. And you're going to pull that arm down and in as you engage the glute. So we're trying to push that hip forward, squeeze the glute, and just gently rotate to your right side. So you'll rock it back, shift the hip forward, pull the body, peer over the shoulder on the right. And you want to ideally feel that like in the front of the hip, slightly up into the front of the torso. A couple more. Back, forward, squeeze that glute of that trail leg, and then turning towards your right side. Good, last one. Rock it back, rock that hip forward, and then gently turn. Fantastic. Shake it out. Same thing, opposite side. So now you'll step your left foot forward, right foot back, right hand comes to that left shoulder. You're gonna just gently hug the arm down and in, and then we're focused to send that back hip forward. Squeeze the glute. Front foot far enough forward that you can really keep that heel planted, shin vertical, turning towards your left. Rock back out of it. We do about 4 times total. Hip forward, squeeze the glute, and rotate. Couple more. Back out of it, into it, turn. One more. Back, in, and rotate. And shake it out. All right. Fantastic. From here, we're going to do a little bit of isolation work for the hip joint and such. We're going to be starting with some hip flexion. So you're going to stand nice and tall. Let's start on your left. So nice and simple. You're just going to simply lift the knee up, lift the toes. You can extend the foot back behind, point it back behind, and then lift it up. Yep. And you can either balance as you do it or arms out to the side. Point the toe back behind you, glide it forward, lift the knees and the toes. Couple more. Send it back, lift it up. Good. Back and up. Fantastic. Set that foot down. Same thing other side. Standing tall or balancing. So I'm going to reach it behind me. Lift the knee, lift the toes. Good. Back and glide it up. Back and up. Good. It's like marching on one side of the body. Keeping the hips as level as you can. Few more. Back and up. Good. Last one. And rest. Very good. Just gonna rock those hips side to side. Next, we're gonna go into some lateral leg raises. So as it sounds, we're gonna be going laterally across the body. Starting with the first leg, you're gonna point the foot out. See if you can cross it over that front foot, and then you're gonna glide it out to the side. Yep. So I'm gonna reach across my body, and then lift the foot and toes, glide it out. You wanna have the toes pointing straight ahead throughout. So don't lift it so far that the toes want to rotate away. Cross it over, glide it wide. Good. Cross it over, lift the foot, and glide it straight out. Feel those lateral muscles, those little smaller muscles of the glute and the hip area. Contract. One more. And relax. All right. Same thing, opposite side. Standing tall or balancing as needed. Bringing the foot gently across the body. Lift and glide, keeping the toe pointing straight on, across and up. Good. Nice. Over and up, cross, drive. Fantastic. About 10 more seconds. Last one. And rest. Good job. Rock out those hips one more time. We've got one more exercise. Now we're going to focus on the posterior, driving it straight back. So you'll point the toe in front of the body, lift the foot, and then glide it back, focusing to fire that glute without arching the back. So here we go. Point the foot forward, lift and glide. I like to put my hand on my bum here so that I can really focus to contract that muscle into my hand as I extend the foot back. So squeezing the glute, avoiding arching the back. Few more here. Point it forward, glide it back. 2 more. Forward and rest. Fantastic. Same thing, opposite leg. Standing tall. And here we go. Point, glide. And sometimes we can kind of become lazy as we stand, or we just kind of like slouch down. So remember, we're those marionette puppets. Everything's pulling us up nice and tall to the ceiling. You can use that hand on the glute to reinforce that engagement of that muscle. Very good. Let's get about 2 more. Point the toe forward, glide the foot back. Last one, point it forward and glide it back. Fantastic. Shake it out. All right, we're gonna do that one more time through, but let's circle those hips around first. So not just hip rocks, but all the way around. We're gonna be starting back with the flexion, or that knee raise. We'll have the flexion, the lateral leg lift, and the hip extension. Reverse directions of those circles if you haven't already. Very good. All right, so when you're ready, we're going to start with the knee and hip flexion. So we pointed the toe behind us just slightly, and then you glide it forward, lift the knee, lift the toes. So balancing or supporting your body, whatever is best for you. We go about 20 to 25 seconds on each side, reaching behind. So we practice our balance at the same time that we practice engaging the little bit smaller muscles of the leg. 1 to 2 more, back and up. Last one this side, and relax. Good job. Just take a moment on both legs. I just like to do the little hip rock side to side. Very good. And then last time, second leg on the hip extension. Toe points behind me just slightly, gliding it up and forward. Knee up, toes up. Standing tall as you do so. Good. Very nice. Try to keep your eyes up, looking straight ahead. Fantastic. 2 to 3 more. Last one. And rest. Wonderful. All right, the lateral leg lifts are next. Back to your first leg. So you point the toe out in front of your body. If you're comfortable, cross it over the other foot. And then lift the toes, glide it wide. Only as far as you can continue to have the toes pointing straight on. People will tend to turn the foot out and away when they go too far. Straight out, cross it over. Good, balance as needed. Good, consistent breathing. 1 to 2 more, over and up, over and relax. Whew. All right, second time, second leg. Lateral crossovers or lateral leg raises. 2, 1, here we go. Point the toe, cross in front, lift the foot and toe, glide it wide. So if I can miss my water bottle, reach and glide it out. Good. Not letting your hip rotate away, so keeping your hips as square as you can. Fantastic. 10 more seconds. Good. 1 to 2 more. Over, up, and last one. Fantastic. All right, shake that out, and we just have one more, that hip extension. So standing tall, just go back to your first leg, and for this one, you're gonna point the foot in front of the body, lift the toes, glide that foot straight back, hand on the bum if you'd like, to help wake up more of that muscle. Squeeze it into the hand. And make sure you don't add a criticism in there. I know we live in a culture where we criticize our bodies all the time. Express gratitude for your body. Be grateful for what it provides you. Unfortunately, sometimes we criticize it up until the point that we begin to realize what maybe we didn't appreciate. So glide it back, reach it forward. But hey, we have our whole lives to work on our relationship with ourselves. 2, 1, and rest on that side. Second time, second side. Standing tall. If you'd like, hand on the glute. 2, 1. Here we go. Point that foot forward, lift it up, glide it back. These are the exercises that it's always best to do with somebody else because it's not super exciting. Pretty basic, but it all has its purpose. And similar to that lateral leg lift, make sure we don't rotate the foot away. So you want to keep that foot pointing straight on. Good. And 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and take a seat for a second, whether in a chair or on the floor. Feel free to grab your water in the process. All right, let's let those legs rest for a second. We're going to give some attention to the upper body. We're going to go some rotational work for the mid-back. Take your right hand behind the head, sitting tall, elbow comes to the opposite thigh, sitting tall and rotate. And those of you that know the quadruped version down on hands and knees, you're welcome to do that as well. Peer over that shoulder as you rotate, coming down, sitting tall. And I like to use my hand On the inside of the knee, I'm rotating away from, just to give a tiny bit of overpressure. Not to force anything, but just to encourage that body to rotate maybe just a hair more. And then when you're ready, same thing, opposite side, hand behind the head, elbow to that opposite thigh. Sit up tall out of your seat as you turn your head and torso. Breathe in to close it down. Sitting tall, exhale. Try to get the air out of the lungs to get a little bit more rotation. It's also good practice to pause in that rotated position. So hold that position at the end. That's where we're looking to encourage the body to open into. Last one. And release that arm down. Good. When you finish that side, we're going to give some attention to the hips. Let's pick up your left leg, pull it into the chest, shoulders down out of the ears, sit tall, and then we'll look to kind of hook it around, get it on that opposite leg. From here, continue to sit tall and then use both arms to hug that leg into the chest. I'm also using my downside leg to kind of pull the leg around, invite this outer hip to open. Good, 10 more seconds. Nice, smooth breathing and release. Good job. Same thing, other side, sit tall, pull that leg in towards the shoulder, and then see if you can hook it on the opposite knee. You can use that left leg to guide it around, and then upper body as well. Shoulders down out of the ears as you hug that leg in. Lengthen through the head and neck. Try to pull that chin in. Try to make like a triple chin. Feel the back of the neck lengthen as you do so. Good, about 10 more seconds. Continue to breathe. 2, 1, and release that side down. Fantastic. Sitting nice and tall, feet flat on the ground. I'm going to come to the edge of the chair as needed, and then I'm going to slide the hands down, bring the chin towards the chest, and coming down as far as you're comfortable, looking to get a little bit of a stretch into that low back. Use your upper body to support yourself and think about sending the breath into the back of the rib cage, trying to expand the ribs as you breathe in. And as you exhale, drop a little bit lower to the ground, maybe just a hair lower. One more breath here if you're comfortable. And on that exhale, when you're ready, start to make your way up. Get your bearings about you once you sit up. And we're going to go one more stretch for the upper body, and then we'll come back up to our feet. So let's take your right hand, reach it straight up in the air, pull that chin in, sit tall, bend the elbow, reach around, grabbing that arm. All right, so if this is a tough position for you, if you tend to want to cave forward, you can stay here. If you feel like you're holding a decent posture and you'd like to add a side bend, then take it to where you're bending away from the side that you're stretching. Good. Breathe in, exaggerate that length through the spine, sitting tall, pulling the chin in. 1 to 2 more. Fantastic. Bring those arms down when you're ready, shake them out. And then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Sitting up, reaching your left arm nice and high, bend that elbow, reaching around, grab the elbow, pulling it back, and gently taking it to the side as you choose. Good. Breathe in as you sit tall, lengthen, and take it to the side. Hi, Hunter and Emily, good to see the two of you. Breathe in, lengthen, last one. And release, very good. Go ahead and shake out those arms. And when you're ready, making your way back up to your feet. All right, have your water nearby. After sitting for a while, we want to open up those hip flexors once again. We're getting ready for some squatting or from sit, stand out of the chair. So we're going to go back to that stagger stance that we did earlier in the warm-up. Step your left foot back, right foot forward. You can either keep the hands on the shoulders, or if it feels good to do so, bring those arms up to overhead. lifting up nice and tall. You'll shift the hips forward and then also side bend here. So from the front, we lift tall. If you'd like to grab your left wrist as you bend to the side, if you have those arms overhead, you can do so. Breathe in to lengthen, reach, and gently taking it to the side. Good. Even if the hands are on the shoulders, you can still join us in that side bend. Very good. 1 to 2 more. Still focusing to open that back hip as you bend to the side and shake it out, switching sides when you're ready. So plant that left foot down, making sure that heel is nice and solid, and you step your right foot back. So either hands here or reaching up to overhead. If you're overhead, use your hand, grab that right wrist, engage that glute, shift the hips forward, and then gently bend it to the side. Good. Breathe in, stand tall, and eyes up. Beautiful. 2 to 3 more. Feels so good to stretch out the body. Last one, everyone. Beautiful. Bring those arms down. Bring that leg in. Shake it out. All right, to warm up for our squats, we're going to do our squat sit. So this is where, unless you're confident in your squat, I recommend having something that you can hold on to. So I'm going to use the chair. A doorway works great as well, where you stand in the side of the doorway. Hold on, and I've got my feet so that my toes are slightly turned out. Like think about a 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock on the dial of the face of the clock. And then keeping your heels planted. We're going to send those hips back. Drive the knees nice and wide. Really important to keep the heels planted. And then as you focus on the heels, try not to lift those toes up. So try to push the whole foot into the ground. Pushing through your legs to stand. And then we'll come up and down here about 2, 3, 4 times, depending upon your tolerance. If you feel like everything's waking up and you want to let go, you can reach those arms straight out, or please hold on. A lot of times when people hold on, you're going to get more depth out of that range of motion, which is what we're looking for, as long as you can do it without pain. All right. So from there, if you prefer to squat to a chair, we call it the sit stand, where you sit down and then you stand up. So if that feels more confident and comfortable for your body, please do that version. You can hold weights or not. We're going to be doing 30 seconds of a squat, and then we're going to be doing 30 seconds of a bent over row, supporting the hand on the bench or a tabletop, and we'll row with one arm. 30 seconds of each movement, about 15 seconds rest in between, and we're going to do it 3 times through. All right, let me know if there's any questions. Otherwise, we're going to start it here in about 10 seconds with the squats. I'm going to hold a little bit of weight. You choose what's best for you. Place those feet about hip width apart, slight toe out, and 2, 1. Here we go. Sending those hips back, sending the knees wide. Good. If you're not holding weights, I encourage you to reach those arms out in front of your body. Help that posture of the chest to stay nice and upright. Very good. Engaging the midline. And as you stand, you're generating the force with your legs. So you're pushing your feet into the floor. That generates that power to stand. Good. And rest. Fantastic. Bend over row is next. Let's try to start in your non-dominant arm. So for most people, it's going to be the left side. Place your right hand down. Walk the feet back. Make sure you have a nice flat spine here. 2, 1. Here we go. Reaching forward. Pulling that elbow nice and high as you keep that shoulder down out of the ear. Good. We do a lot of dumbbell rows in these classes because we want to help our mid back and upper back and shoulders have good posture. We want those shoulder blades to set back on the rib cage. If we don't strengthen those positions, we tend to end up really rounded forward. And rest and rotate. Go ahead and come off the hands for a second. Stand up. Shake it out. I'm going to spin around here. And 3, 2, 1. Come on back into position. Opposite side of the body. Reaching forward. So ever so gently, allow that shoulder blade to reach forward. And then you want to imagine I've got a string or a guideline attached to the back of that elbow, pulling it straight up towards the ceiling. Nice. Reach down, pull up and through. And you want to try to pull that weight as high on your torso as you can. So you should try to get it all the way up towards the shoulder. One more. And rest. Very good. We're going to take 30 seconds in between sets. Grab a little drink of water. If you want to switch up the weights or add any weight to the next series, feel free. We'll be back with those squats or sit stand. All right, everyone, 10 seconds. If you're not quite ready, just take a pause and join us back again when you are. Set those feet about hip width apart. And 2, 1, here we go. We can also hold some weights if we're squatting to a chair. Doesn't have to look all that different from a regular squat, except for the range of motion is going to be less. Sitting back and standing tall. And oftentimes we're kind of limited in our house as far as the height of the chair, but if you do have lower levels, or if you have any way to kind of set some weights or some objects on a bench, rest and rotate. Ideally, over time, we want to kind of encourage the body to get a little bit lower than the chair. But if you don't have anything to work with, the chair is better than nothing. All right, place those feet. Pull the midline in, support on your non-working arm. 2, 1, here we go. Reach it down. Once you know that movement, keep your head neutral by looking straight down at your support hand. Good. Allowing that shoulder blade to track a little bit forward as you reach, and then up and in. Your shoulder blade's kind of the shape of a triangle, so you want to think about the bottom of the triangle, trying to pull it in towards your spine. And rest. Standing up nice and tall in between sides. Shaking it out really quick. And then when you're ready, we'll start to get back into position. Place that hand down. Walk the feet. 2, 1, here we go. Elbow high. Breathe in to reach. Exhale as you row. And depending upon the size of your weights, if you're kind of in between where you're starting to feel like the weight you're using may be a little bit light, you can make it harder by pausing at the top of the reps. So you can hold that position at the top and then reach forward, hold, reach, and rest. Fantastic. 2 rounds down. As you stand up, you can give a little rotation side to side, kind of shake out that torso, stretch out that low back. Very nice. All right, 20 seconds, and we'll do it one more time through. All right, everybody. Going in 10, move back to the squats. Set those feet about hip width apart, keeping your eyes up. 2, 1, and begin. Control down, knees push wide. Really important to keep those heels planted. And sometimes our knees tend to drop in. I'll see it sometimes when people are just sitting down and getting up out of chairs, the knees will dive in. So that's what we're working on training to avoid. Because every time that knee dives in, it causes a little stress on that joint. It's like an irregular movement pattern that can cause some damage if done repeatedly over time. So part of strengthening is to help our body stay strong and stay in good positions. Finish that rep and rest. Very good. Last time on the single arm row. Set those feet, good support through that hand, and 3, 2, 1, here it is. Keep that breathing smooth. The older we get, the less that exercise should be about how we look. And wouldn't it be great if we could get the younger generations to not make it so much about how we look, but more about how we feel in our body, how we can move our body, how we feel about our body, and not let that fitness industry tear us down in how we feel. Good work. That's 30 seconds. Rest and rotate. Final time, second arm. 2, 1, and here we go. Unfortunately, a lot of the fitness magazines, a lot of the advertising, as many of us should know if we don't already, there's a lot of airbrushing involved, a lot of unrealistic images for us to try to attain for our body. And it can kind of really mess us up in our mind as far as what we feel like our bodies should look like. So instead of what they should look like, how should we be able to move? 2, 1, and all done there. Well done. Come on up. Shake it out. Let's grab a drink. And then if you have a broomstick around, PVC post, or one of those long bands, we're going to be utilizing that next to kind of open up our shoulders. All right. So let's go ahead and grab this stick or the long band. You want to take a nice wide grip to start, and we're going to bring it up and over the head, or as far as you're confident, bringing it up and over. And we want to really pay attention here. We want to avoid that sway back. So think ribs down. Think like the front of the ribs down. Reaching up, just pulling it back so you get a little opening through the chest, and then bring it down in front. You also want to pay attention through the ribs and through the head. Sometimes people kind of jut that head forward. So think chin in, 1 or 2 more. Reaching it back and bringing it forward. On the next one, keep it up to overhead and see if you can gently bring it down behind the head. Come a little bit closer. So the wider your hands, the easier it will be. The more narrow the hands, the harder it will be. And we want to think about just doing some behind the neck presses to help open the chest and shoulders. So chin in, sit or stand tall, push it up and bringing it down. Good. If to bring it down behind you, you're really losing that posture of the upper body, switch it up, bring it down in front, and then do the best you can from there. Otherwise, opening the chest and shoulders. Think elbows back and in. Very good. Let's go about 1 more. And this time, let's keep it up to overhead. Walk the feet a little bit wider, and then use that bar to guide your body around. Turn to one side. Make sure the feet are planted, little bend in those knees. Grip the toes, and then rotate to the other side. Very good. Very nice. If you were comfortable to have it behind the head, go ahead and set it behind the head. If you don't like that, set it down and just cross the arms over your chest. Otherwise, we're going to warm up some hinging movements for the lower body. So walk the feet in just a little bit, toes pointing straight ahead. I'm going to pull that belly button in, and then with a little bend in those knees, that's where I'm going to start to bow forward, setting those hips back, looking down towards the floor. Squeeze the glutes, standing straight up and down. We're going to go 3 to 5 times here. Ideally, as you bow forward, you want to start to feel the movement in the back of the thighs, whether it's your glute area or the hamstrings. And you want to avoid shooting the knees forward. So tall chest, long spine, send those hips back. Very good. Maybe 1 more. And stand tall from there. Good. Let's bring that. If you still have that broomstick PVC, bring it up around and set that down on the floor. Make sure it's out of your way so you're not going to trip on it or anything. All right, from here, we're going to do a little toe touch. So toes still pointing straight ahead. I have my feet just underneath the hips. So I'm going to stand tall to start, and now I'm going to tuck my chin down towards the chest, pull the belly button in, and I'm using this as a stretch to just gently glide the hands down the thighs. Seeing where the flexibility is. Do you get to your knees? Do you get to the shins? Can you get to your ankles? Can you get to the floor? Just kind of seeing where your range of motion is. Stand tall in between, and let's do that 2 to 3 times. Chin to the chest, pull the belly button in, and sliding down towards the floor. Now, depending upon the weights that you have available, if you have smaller weights, that to put them all the way down on the ground is going to take you out of a good position through your back, then I recommend don't go all the way down to the ground. So for this next portion, for the first part, I'm going to recommend if you have smaller weights, you're going to hold 1 in each hand. All right. We're going to stand nice and tall, toes pointing straight ahead. And we're going to just kind of walk through this first round together. So toes straight ahead, weight to the side. And now I'm just going to gently bow forward. And this time I want to have that spine long. So I'm going to stand tall, little bend in those knees, send the hips back, bowing down, bring the weights either to the floor, to the knee, to the ankles, just far enough that you can keep that back in a good position. And you don't want to feel any strain on that low back. So standing tall and moving with me. So we're going to go about another 30 seconds here. Good. Kelly, if you could just turn sideways, I can see your back position just a little bit better. Go ahead and keep moving. Laura, maybe not quite so far down. So take it about mid shin. You're starting to round a little bit in the low back when you go all the way down. So let's see a couple more. Good, Shirley. Down. Looks great, Diane. Nice, Kelly. Good. And maybe one more rep. 3. There you go, Laura. And then up from there. Nice. And rest. Good job. Set those weights down, shake it out for a second. We're going from that, we call that a deadlift, or bowing forward, standing tall. Next, we're going to do our overhead reach or press. So if you have any discomfort in your shoulders, maybe unweighted and just practice alternating that overhead reach. If you feel strong in your shoulders and can hold some weights, we'll go from there. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Reach one up and then the other. We've got 45 seconds on this exercise. Nice. You're welcome to stay standing. If you want to sit, you can. I'm just coming a little bit closer. Try to keep my upper body in the camera. And people tend to press wide here. So you want to think straight over the center of your head. One comes up, the other goes down. Smooth breathing. Good. That's 30 seconds done. Nice. Good reaching position, Shirley. There you go. 1 to 2 more. 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Go ahead and set your weights down if you're using them. Make sure your floor space is clear, because we're going to do a little blood flow next. If you're someone that has a stationary bike nearby, a little mini trampoline you could bounce on, anything like that, feel free to use it. Otherwise, join me. We're going to be doing 60 seconds of some blood flow. I'm going to change it up about every 15 seconds here, what movement we're doing. So we've got our step jacks first. And now next, we're going to go into our march. Opposite knee, opposite leg. Excuse me. Opposite knee, opposite arm. Staying as level as you can. Very good. From there, we're going to go into our seal jacks. Arms at the sides. Good. Shoulders down out of the ears. Fantastic. All right, and the last 15 seconds, instead of knees up, think about bringing your heel up underneath your body, like you're trying to touch the back of the heel to the underside of your glute. There you go. Heels up. It's going to activate your hamstrings a little bit more than that regular march. And 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Get a drink. We're going to take about 45 seconds rest, and then we'll be back to our deadlifts. And if you don't like the deadlift or the weights at the side, you can always go back to that good morning, crossing the arms over the chest, bowing forward from there. 15 seconds till we start. So ideally, you want to have weights on both sides of the body. Standing nice and tall. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Little bend in those knees, bowing forward. Push through those legs, squeeze the glutes. Long spine to lower. Good. I'm looking straight on to keep an eye on y'all on the clock. But ideally, as you bow forward, chin in, looking down towards the floor. Good. Great back position. Very nice. Shoulders back and down. Squeeze the glutes to stand. And 2, 1. Rest and rotate. Very good. We're going to that overhead reach or overhead press next. All right, 2, 1, when you're ready. Got 45 seconds on this one. Keeping those shoulders moving. Good. There's our first 15 seconds. Fantastic. Think ribs down. And you can still engage the midsection of the lower body, even though we're working the upper body. That lower body is your base of support. That's 30 seconds. Woo, hello, shoulders. Breathing through it. And 2, 1, and rest. Woo. All right, getting ready for the blood flow. Standing nice and tall. Cross crawl patterns next. So we're gonna go straight arms, straight legs, reaching across the body. There you go. Good support. Fantastic. From this cross crawl pattern, we're gonna go back to the heel lifts. So lifting the heels up underneath the body. The one that we did on the last round. So try to activate those hamstrings, pulling the heels straight up. Good. I know to kind of lean to the side, so try to stay as square as you can. Good, and either arms overhead or arms out to the side, step jacks, or if you want to do any jumping, if you feel good for that today, you can do a little bit of a regular jump jack here. Otherwise, 10 seconds till we rest. Good. Woo! And 2, 1, and all done there. All right, we'll take 45 seconds. Grab a drink, and we'll be back for one more time through that circuit. Nice work. And now when you all are doing the deadlifts, if you turn, if you're facing me, it's hard for me to see to cue anything. So if you turn to the side, I can see your back angle a lot better. 15 seconds. All right, 10 seconds till we start. Toes pointing straight ahead, standing tall, little bend in those knees. And now pull that belly button in as you bow forward. Begin when you're ready. Push through the legs, standing straight up and down. Long spine as you hinge. Especially if you've got smaller weights, don't feel like you have to go all the way down. Good. Right about knee height. Keep it going. 15 more. Let's come a little closer. Looks great. Bow down. Nice. There you go. Fantastic. Maybe one more rep. Bow down, squeeze, and rest. Nice work. Overhead press or reach. Let's stay standing tall for this one. Bring that arms or weights up to the shoulders. 2, 1, here we go. And when you're standing, if you notice ever so slightly, I can feel it where when I push one arm up, my glute on the opposite side of the body tends to fire a little bit more, right? Our body's kind of working against that counter rotation, keeping everything square and balanced. Good, 30 seconds down, 15 to go. Good, keeping those shoulders nice and strong, reaching high. Watching that low back, no arching. Maybe one more each arm. And rest. Fantastic. Set those weights down. Make sure your space is clear. One more time through of some blood flow. We're going to go 90 seconds on this one, so a little bit longer. You can either stick with what we did last round, or if you want a little bit more challenge, knee to the opposite elbow. Staying strong, lifting up. So either straight legs or elbows and knees. Good. We're going to go another 15 seconds here. Good. Before you bring that arm to the knee, holding strong. And rest there. Step jacks or jump jacks. Call these ones the seal jacks, the arms down to the side. If you want more overhead work, feel free to do that traditional jump jack pattern. 45 seconds done. 45 seconds left. So standing tall, let's go to those heel raises, or sometimes we call them butt kicks. Pulling the heel up, activating that hamstring a little bit more. Good. If you want to challenge the brain a little bit, you can add a cross body punch to it. So lifting the heels and punching across the body. Fantastic. And final 15 seconds. Step jacks, jump jacks, just dance. However you want to finish your blood flow. Woo! Have some fun with it though. Celebrate that you finished another session. And 2, 1. Now we're all done. All right, great work everyone. Virtual high fives. Let's get a drink. All right, wonderful job. Let's take it down to the chair. All righty, we're gonna start with some eagle arms. So stretching out the outer part of the shoulders. Bring those arms nice and wide. Let's take your left hand on top, your right hand underneath. And then you wanna look to interlace the hands best you can. You're gonna take your right hand, push it down into the left palm, and then left arm pushes down as the right arm pushes up. So we're looking to get like the lateral part of your shoulder here. And we tend to bring it up into the ears. So still think about tractioning them down, lengthen through the head, pull that chin in. Another 10 seconds here. And release. Fantastic. So now we're going to go right arm on top. Reach it wide, right arm over, left arm under, swing it around. Good. One pushes down while the other pushes up. Once that heart rate and breathing rate comes back down a little bit, if your nose is clear enough, see if you can breathe in and out of your nose while we're doing these last few stretches, or at least in the nose as best as able and then out through the mouth. See what feels best for you. One more breath in this stretch. And release those arms. Shake that out. Fantastic. All right, we're going to go to the legs now. Set your right foot nice and solid. Bring that left leg up. Cross it over. We're going to do the glute stretch first, just like we did at the start of the class. Sitting tall, hugging it in. Going to make our way into figure 4. Very good. So from here, you can invite that knee to kind of drop down. We're looking to open up through the hip a little bit more. Sitting tall. You can gently place that hand on the knee. When you're ready, go ahead and release. Coming up and out of that, place that foot down. And then same thing other side. Sitting tall, pull the leg up and in. Cross that leg over. We're stretching the glute first, so you can use your leg on the ground to kind of traction it around. Sit tall, hug it in. And remember these stretches if you feel stiff over the next few days, or just in general to keep your body moving. From here, release the hands and invite that knee to drop down as you continue to sit tall. If you'd like to use the hand on the knee, just gently here. Very good. And when you're ready, gradually coming back out of that. Very good. From here, we're just going to come to the edge of the chair, feet flat on the ground, and we'll gently windshield wiper the legs back and forth. There you go. Fantastic. From here, we're going to sit tall. Let's extend your right leg straight out. And, you know, it's kind of intended to be a little bit of a hamstring stretch, but it usually ends up being a little bit more of a low back stretch from this position. I don't have anything here. Well, one thing that can help you is if you have something that you can like prop the foot up on, that might be able to get a little bit more of that hamstring in there. I guess I could demo on my box here. So if you had like a footstool or something for your chair, maybe even later on today, you could extend that foot out onto your footstool and then lean forward. And that will oftentimes allow you to feel it more in the hamstring and less into that low back. So whichever version you want here, we're going to hold about another 15 seconds, just like when we do all of our stretches. Remember, we don't want it to be super intense. So if you're grimacing and profusely sweating as a result of that stretch, just back out of it a little bit. 2, 1, and release. Good job. Bring that leg in, and you can either keep the foot on the floor and bow forward, or again, if you have somewhere to prop the foot up, or you can also obviously just sit on the ground as well. Sit tall and lean forward. There you go. Very nice. Let's go about another 10 seconds. 2, 1, and come on out. Very good. Bring that leg in. And then last but not least, head and neck. So sitting nice and tall, shoulders back and down. We're going to start with some rotation. So you're going to look over your right shoulder and then take 2 fingers and make sure you're not on your jaw, but up on the cheekbones. And just like, think about like the pressure of a quarter. If you could set a quarter on the side of your face, not that gravity wouldn't fall it down, but just gently invite the head to rotate a little bit more. And then same thing, other side, sitting tall, chin in, turn, 2 fingers up on the cheekbones. Holding about 5 seconds. Let's go twice more each side. Back to the first direction. And switch. Second time, second side. Very good. And last time each way. Turn the head. Invite that rotation. And last time, second side. Make sure you're using your eyes as well. So as you're turning your head, you want to turn the eyes. So you're trying to look as far in that direction as you can. And release that. Very good. From there, we're going to go flexion and extension with the neck. So I'm continuing to sit tall, and I'm going to bring the chin down towards the chest. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. And then we're going to sit tall and look straight up. Very good. We'll go twice more, this time with a little overpressure if you choose. So with the chin down to the chest, I take the fingertips on top of the head. Remember, like setting a quarter or a nickel there, so it's very delicate. And then when you release there, if you're comfortable to do so, cross the hands over just underneath the collarbones. Pull your skin down gently as you look up. So you're looking to traction the skin and looking up, stretching out the front of the neck. And release there. Very good. This time when we look down, we're going to come to the side just a little bit. So you're going to sit tall, bring the chin straight down towards your chest, and then bring it across the body like you're trying to bring your chin towards your left collarbone. If you'd like, you can lift up the hip on your right side, turn the palm up. I don't recommend it if you have a wooden chair, but if you have a cushion, you can sit down on that hand to traction the shoulder back and down, and then use your left hand ever so gently to encourage that chin towards the left collarbone. And I barely have to do anything here. Like I'm barely touching my middle finger to the back of the head, and I can feel a nice stretch in the upper part of my trap, base of my skull there where that attaches. Release when you're ready. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So sit tall, chin in, bringing it down to the chest to start, then across towards your right collarbone, feeling that stretch coming out of the left side of the neck. If you'd like to lift up the hips, turn your left palm up. You can sit down on that hand to really invite that shoulder to sit back and down. And then you would take your right hand fingertip, and you just use my middle finger to ever so gently invite the chin towards your right collarbone a little bit more. And when you're ready, go ahead and release. Fantastic, everyone. And then just some side to side, some neck circles. Especially after we do overhead work, I always like to give some time to give a little extra attention to the neck and our traps. So remember those stretches. If you feel stiff later today or the next few days, keep your body loose. You know, when we feel stiff, sometimes we'll avoid movement, but movement, especially if it doesn't cause pain, can really help our body to work through that stiffness, as well as plenty of hydration. So stay hydrated, move your body, sleep well, and don't forget to enjoy life. All right, see you next time.